News on Warner Bros. Discovery audio and listing issues affecting AEW Dynamite on TBS this week and how it may have affected their viewership defeat to WWE NXT in the ratings. Details on some of the frustration that is backstage right now between AEW and Warner Bros. Discovery. Mercedes Moné has commented on the possibility of her showing up at Full Gear next month. The original DIY reunion was reportedly scrapped several months ago ahead of the pair reuniting this past week on Monday Night Raw. Bobby Lashley will compete in his first televised match in 5 months tonight on SmackDown. Jon Moxley opens up about doing commentary at WrestleDream last weekend. Nia Jax versus Raquel Rodriguez is set for the Raw after Fastlane, and an update on the Hulk Hogan biopic involving Chris Hemsworth. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. And let's start off talking about Warner Bros. Discovery, specifically TBS, and the problems they've been having with AEW Dynamite in recent weeks. Things have not been smooth sailing, to say the least, between WBD and AEW over the last week or so. On last week's episode of AEW Dynamite, there were several audio issues through the TBS feed. Now, this situation persisted on the October 5th episode, but that wasn't the biggest problem. According to Fightful Select, Warner Bros. Discovery sources confirmed to Fightful that they became aware of a mistake regarding AEW Dynamite's listing on Wednesday morning across multiple providers that likely caused viewership issues. The WBD source called all of the issues, quote, inexcusable, and admitted that they felt bad for them. Now, Fightful have been told there was a lot of frustration within AEW as they often get blamed for those issues, but there was nothing that they could do. Of course, this week, Dynamite was surpassed in viewership by WWE NXT as the WWE's brand viewership numbers grew by 35% over last week's show, securing the highest viewership since 2020. NXT raked in 857,000 viewers this week, but Dynamite did have more viewers in the 18 to 49 key demographic, with 364,000 viewers compared to NXT's 289,000 viewers. However, in total viewership, Dynamite had only 800,000. However, sources within AEW and Warner Bros. Discovery are speculating that this listing issue Wednesday morning could have actually provided a problem, and considering that Dynamite only lost out to NXT by 57,000 viewers, it could be argued certainly that this listing issue and the audio problems may have played a factor in Dynamite losing out to NXT this week. What are your thoughts on the issues currently ongoing with TBS? Do you have sympathy with AEW considering it's out of their hands? And do you think the viewership numbers would have been different if the listing issues weren't there, considering that it was listed at an earlier time slot and just hours before the show, the AEW president Tony Khan had to remind viewers that indeed Dynamite was in its regular time slot at 8 p.m. Eastern? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. Do you think it made any difference, or do you think it made no difference at all? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. Now, Mercedes Moné, obviously, seemingly may be working with AEW in the future. Of course, she was in the crowd for AEW All In at London's Wembley Stadium. And Mercedes Moné has made headlines, or she made headlines at All In at Wembley Stadium, though she didn't appear technically on the show itself. Mercedes was shown in the crowd twice during the show, leading to speculation she may show up on AEW television when she's cleared from her ankle injury. Despite the rumours, Mercedes has yet to compete in a match for AEW, but she has teased potentially being open to being in attendance at Full Gear next month in Los Angeles. Speaking on an Instagram Live, she said, quote, "When is that? I don't know. I've got to ask my friend. A little AE dub. It's coming here to LA, I guess. Sure, if I'm free, I've got to see. I've got to check the schedule. I know we're really busy. We're doing a lot of things, traveling a lot." Now, Mercedes was rumoured for a match back at the New Japan and AEW Forbidden Door pay-per-view against Saraya. Of course, that didn't end up happening due to Mercedes suffering an injury at New Japan Resurgence back in May. In the Instagram Live, it must be pointed out she was not wearing the boot that she was wearing at All In at London's Wembley Stadium. So potentially, Mercedes Moné could show up at Full Gear. What do you expect to lay in Mercedes Moné's future? Do you think she'll show up at Full Gear? Do you think eventually she'll wrestle matches for AEW? Let me know your thoughts and predictions about that in the comment section below. Now, of course, Monday, we saw the reunion of DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, but reportedly, the original DIY reunion was actually scrapped several months ago prior to it happening this Monday night on Raw. There were plans for a DIY reunion this past summer, but they were nixed fairly late. Fightful Select are reporting that they have learned there were active plans this summer to reunite Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa on WWE television, as hinted at on episodes of Raw. However, this was one of many stories that got cancelled and effectively dropped. The June 19 episode of Raw saw many changes, including a planned World Heavyweight Championship Open Challenge match. Now, it had been reported by Fightful at the time that Tommaso Ciampa was actually scheduled to answer that Open Challenge, but there was much more to it than just that. When Fightful had reported that, many readers said that Ciampa's return shouldn't have resulted in an immediate loss. However, that was far from the end of the story. Ciampa was to answer the Open Challenge, and that match would have been ruined fairly quickly by the Judgment Day. A returning Johnny Gargano, who was backstage in his hometown of Cleveland, would have then made the save, reuniting DIY. Plans began to change, though, heavily in the days prior before being nixed altogether. Those that Fightful spoke to said that several involved were frustrated by the change. For over 3 months after that, Gargano remained off television until returning on October 2nd. Many thought that was a result of Johnny Gargano being off television was because that he was injured again or something like that, as there were incorrect rumours of him not being cleared. WWE sources confirmed to Fightful repeatedly that he's been cleared since late April and simply not been used at all. Of course, he recently returned to the ring at a WWE live event in Fort Myers in late July, wrestling against Omos, but he was quickly defeated. Where do you think this one's going to go, and who would you like to see DIY face off against now that they're back together as a tag team on Monday Night Raw? Of course, tonight is SmackDown on Fox. And we're going to see a return to the ring for one Bobby Lashley ahead of him wrestling this weekend at Fastlane as well. Tonight's WWE SmackDown is the go-home show before October 7th's Fastlane Premium Live event, and 2 new matches have been announced. The official WWE website has announced that Rey Mysterio will take on Bobby Lashley in a singles match. This will be Lashley's first match on television since May 12 and first match at all since June 25th. If you include non-televised matches. According to the official post, quote, in order to prove their worth to Bobby Lashley, the Street Profits together with the Almighty launched a devastating attack on the LWO. In response, a triple threat match was made between the two factions for Fastlane, a tag team match. The triple threat match between the LWO and Lashley and the Street Profits is more accurately a 6-man tag team match, with it featuring 2 teams of 3. The post goes on to reveal the match for SmackDown, quote, before they square off at the explosive PLE, United States Champion Rey Mysterio will seek retribution and a huge win when he squares off against Lashley. Elsewhere on tonight's episode of SmackDown, Asuka and Charlotte Flair will coexist, or try to coexist, as they take on Damage Control's Io Sky and Bayley ahead of the triple threat match, a real triple threat match, at Fastlane, which will see Sky defend the Women's Championship against both Flair and Asuka. According to the WWE website post, the upcoming SmackDown match, quote, despite having to battle each other in a huge triple threat match the very next night, Charlotte Flair and Asuka will need to be on the same page in their fight against Women's Champion Io Sky and Bayley. At WWE Fastlane, Sky will put her title on the line against the Queen of WWE and the Empress of Tomorrow in a frenetic triple threat match. Flair and Asuka have teamed together in the past, even becoming WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Meanwhile, Bayley has been causing some tension in Damage Control, having unofficially made the triple threat match for Fastlane. Obviously, this one is going to take place over the weekend, the actual Women's Championship match. But what are your thoughts on Lashley returning to the ring ahead of Fastlane on Saturday? Now, one of the high points of Wrestle Dream, in addition to the likes of the debut of Adam Copeland, some fantastic matches, was Jon Moxley on commentary. And Jon Moxley has discussed doing commentary at Wrestle Dream. At AEW Dynamite Grand Slam, Rey Fenix defeated Jon Moxley to win the AEW International Championship. During the course of the bout, Moxley suffered a concussion. The former 3-time AEW World Champion made his return to the company to join the commentary team for AEW Wrestle Dream, including for Bryan Danielson's clash with Zack Sabre Jr. He really sat on all of the Blackpool Combat Club matches in a bit of a William Regal-esque role. In a new interview with Justin Barrasso of Sports Illustrated, Jon Moxley admitted that doing commentary was a lot harder than he thought. He said, quote, it was pretty fun. It's actually a lot harder than you think. I remember doing it once or twice in WWE. There's guys on the headset counting down, camera shots, video packages, and you don't want to talk while everyone else is talking. There's a lot of traffic to navigate. Hopefully, I didn't make the other 3 guys' lives more difficult. Admitting that he might have been a little underqualified to be behind the headset at the pay-per-view, Moxley said, quote, I've been paid to star in a movie and I'm not a real actor. I got paid to write a book and I'm not a real writer. I'm barely a real wrestler. So this is another thing that someone paid me to do that I'm completely unqualified to do. I don't know how I keep getting so lucky. Now, what did you think of Jon Moxley's commentary at Wrestle Dream? Did you enjoy it? Didn't you enjoy it? Do you think there's a future for Moxley moving forward? And would you like to see Moxley on headsets more often during Blackpool Combat Club matches that he's not involved in? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments section below. Now, Nia Jax is set to have a match on the Raw after Fastlane. A grudge match featuring Nia Jax has been added to the lineup for the upcoming October 9 edition of Monday Night Raw from Omaha, Nebraska. In what will be the first show post-Fastlane, it has been confirmed on WWE.com that the recently returned Nia Jax would take on Raquel Rodriguez in one-on-one action next week. On the most recent edition of Raw, Jax, Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, and WWE Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley all engaged in a brawl to kick off the night's proceedings, having all felt the wrath of Jax since she made her return. On the Raw talk following the chaos, Rodriguez and Jax both commented on the upcoming match. Rodriguez spoke of being excited for the match, citing their one-time only 2021 NXT tag team encounter as an example of her superiority over the irresistible Force, saying, quote, "I'm just so excited, I'm so anxious. Ever since Nia made her return, I have been waiting to step in the ring with her. Even the little bit in NXT we had was not enough for Raquel Rodriguez, but this coming Monday, Nia's gonna get it. She doesn't even know it." As for Jax, she seemed less confident about Rodriguez's prospects in the match, as she warned her opponent, quote, "Raquel should have stayed gone. Next week, she will be gone." At this point, also confirmed for Raw, is a Viking rules match between Ivar and Kofi Kingston, but obviously much of the show will be made up of fallout from what happens at Fastlane as well. The Raw branded matches at Fastlane are Seth Rollins defending the World Heavyweight Championship in a last man standing match against Shinsuke Nakamura, as well as Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso challenging Judgment Day for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. Now, finally, a lot of people have been talking about Hulk Hogan over the last 24 hours after his interview with Chris Van Vliet and trying to dissect if the Hulkster is indeed telling the truth on a number of topics. One topic he spoke about was this biopic film. Now, Hulk Hogan has shared an update on his Netflix biopic, which features Marvel's Chris Hemsworth, disclosing that the project has been temporarily delayed. Hogan, who serves as an executive producer of the project alongside former WCW president Eric Bischoff, was a guest on the Inside with Chris Van Vliet podcast, where he revealed that he has decided to end his association with Netflix, citing a business glitch as the reason. Quote, "Yes, I do have an update," said Hogan. "So it was a situation where business-wise, Netflix kind of missed the date, as far as a business situation. And so I had the choice at the time to switch gears. Scott Silver wrote the script, he wrote Joker and a bunch of different movies. And of course, Todd Phillips has done Joker, Wolf of Wall Street, even though actually it was Martin Scorsese that directed Wolf of Wall Street, but whatever. And, whatever, all the crazy stuff that he did. But yeah, the script came back. It was amazing. I mean, because my favorite movies are like Scarface, Godfather, True Romance. It was there. And I just thought, whoa. But all of a sudden, there was a business glitch. And, they tried to fix it a few days later. And I'd already decided to move on. Hogan later added that while his life rights are elsewhere, he still hopes that Phillips will direct the biopic and Hemsworth will be the lead. While it's unclear when the biopic will be released, wrestling fans do have The Iron Claw, a movie based around the Von Erich family, to look forward to, releasing on December 22nd. The film stars Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White, and AEW World Champion Maxwell Jacob Friedman as well. So what are your thoughts when it comes to the Hulk Hogan biopic? What are your thoughts on Hulk Hogan switching gears as well? What are your thoughts on Chris Hemsworth possibly being the actor to play him? Would you be interested in this film? Would they get it right as well? And also, while we're talking about it, what did you think about, obviously, what did you think about the interview by Hulk Hogan as well? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.